Is a spiritual or religious awakening really what society needs? I think so. Religion has always provided the framework for purpose and meaning in life, and our society seems devoid of such purpose now. But religion? I know it sounds naive, especially if religion means a sky god who rewards belief, punishes doubt, and lets suffering roll on while calling it love. If that's what it is, you can count me out. But what if that's not the real story? What if beneath the ancient formulas and dogmas is something deeper, something we've forgotten, or something we haven't managed to describe in terms a modern mind can build a meaningful life upon? In an age of fragmentation, maybe we need to start again, not with certainty, but with curiosity. This somewhat whimsical poem on the ancient doctrine of the Trinity is an invitation to wonder, to wrestle, and to grow. It plays with the idea that the Trinity is an expression of a first-person, second-person, and third-person relation to the divine. Dry? Not really, because this relation suggests why we are here and why there's anything at all. It's a puzzle, I say, and you'll have to agree, for we say God is one, and yet God is three. I suppose you could ask how this came to be, this puzzle of puzzles to which there's no key. For with such a confusing description of God, with so many people finding it odd, you might think that Christians would just let it go, with some saying yes, and some saying no. Yet whether or not it seems real or seems true, this particular doctrine binds like a glue, keeping all brands of Christians from flying about, while lost in themselves, so confused they flame out. For Trinity matters, such we hope, in a world where destruction and war too often unfurls. We cry, "Where is God?" as creation groans deep, as fears of collapse break the silence of sleep. So we don't need a muddle. We need God in the struggle. A God who can offer surprising new life, whose love is so strong it can bridge any strife. Consider that war and disease make us blue. Talking heads rant, it's hatred they spew. People are crying, what are we to do? The climate is changing, the world is askew. And that's not to mention the next Spanish flu, or AI run rampant and fueling a coup, or fires, wind, and flooding, their damage accrues, as those who seek refuge are scorned in the news. You think that I'm kidding? Brain totally spent? No, these could be real catastrophic events. These are fears that portend, while anger ferments at impossible rents, as hatred foments, while we all lament and search for a way that we might circumvent each torment that's coming, even if we repent. See? We don't need a muddle. We need God in our struggle. Thus, in times of fast change, disaster, and dread, I challenge this doctrine. What hope does it spread? For my tradition suggests that we hold a real thread, a God who brings life when hope doth seem dead. For God's love, we're convinced, can carry us through, bridge all divisions, make life fresh and new. But having probed a bit, I think you will find that Trinity's transformed my skeptical mind. Still, I know you might ask, why are you still groping for truth from the ancients, not helpful in coping? Well, this is my answer. It's why I write here. The ancients knew something that's no longer clear. It's true they knew less than we seem to know now, but their hearts reached beyond to what some call the Tao, which of course is the mystery we're apt to call God, a deep mystery so profound we can only applaud. Okay, they explained it in terms that are magic, but to lose them, I'm sure, would be horribly tragic. We need to make new sense of this old mystery. As we do, we will find the purpose of history, and why we are here, why there's anything at all. Then open and seeking, the mystery will call, revealing life's meaning and wisdom through awe. And so if you're willing to journey with me, let's see what the Trinity offers to thee. We begin in Nicaea, the year 325, The church it was growing, the faithful did thrive. For the emperor found faith in Jesus, you see. Christianity he ruled, Rome's religion must be. So his bishops debated the Son's true place. They forged a bold creed by imperial grace. One God in three, Father, Spirit, and Son. Same essence, one substance, three still being one. If you care about that, then you're better than I, for it makes me confused, I can't help but sigh. Can that be the God who gives us new life, whose love is so strong it can bridge any strife? So I went to Doc Ock to find out what it meant. He spoke of sin, wrath, and divine punishment. See, Christ takes the blame so believers go free, joined by the Spirit God forgives by decree. And so we avoid the pit of hellfire. By believing it thus, we escape from God's ire. I said, but I'm worried about living this life. The fire pits of hell aren't part of my strife. For if God is love, can there be a hellfire? What can it mean to escape from love's ire? Unsatisfied, then I went to Otati, a theologian whose view is complete, never spotty. He had me probe deep in his lair near the sea, said Trinity's best when it sets your mind free. So pour us some scotch and prepare to be awed, for what I will tell you will seem very odd. It's a lousy definition of God, I'll admit, but listen real close and I'll share a fine bit. It's not about clarity, not about math, it's love that flows freely, a relational path. Don't get stuck on the persons, their order, their role, for Trinity points to a much greater whole. It's dynamic, alive, a great dance that unfolds, a picture of love that creation upholds. That intrigued me, so I wondered, I sat and I thought, any chance that this doctrine can mean what it ought? Can I find any truth midst theological strife, the debates and concerns that disrupt Christian life? Well, Einstein did say, if a conundrum you solve, it's the problem's assumptions that you must dissolve. So with Zeus, I did puzzle, till my puzzler was sore, then explored way, way outside Christianity's core. Thus I traveled again to a loft small and spare, to a teacher named Wilbert with barely a hair. Religions evolve, he declared with great might, and their truths are like candles, they add to the light. A new thought may be strange, but so new must be. Hang out for a bit, you might see what I see. He explained it to me in terms perfect and fine, about quadrant states, levels, types, and, well, lines. In the journey to game out this truth and pass go, we'll start with the structure of history. It flows. Like everything seen and unseen that we know, religions evolve, though sadly too slow. Some Christians hold a mythic view of their God, the one who's up there that we must applaud. You know the one who sits on a throne, who watches in judgment already prone to bring on you either this crisis or that, because you're a sinner, a pitiful gnat. This God, though, will save you, they know it is true. That's if you believe that his love doth renew. Now the mythic believer says he's right, his faith's strong. Others don't get it, he knows they are wrong. But he makes no real sense to the modernist. Why? There's simply no God throwing bolts from the sky, wreaking havoc in lives of those gone astray. There's no God who walks upon water, they say, no six-day creation, no rest the next day. Thus the modernist mind deconstructs all those stories, the ones with the miracles, the sacrifice, the glory. So where does the modernist leave us, I ask? That's part of the trouble, it's part of my task. For the modernist God, if you call this God that, is distant and vague, can't drop by to chat. But this God is predictable and thus very clear, like a watchmaker making a watch to revere. So the modern believer says he's right, his faith's strong, others don't get it, he knows they are wrong. But evolution didn't stop with modern religion. The postmodernist arrives with the truth she's been given. That truth is, of course, perspectival, you see. It's different for you and it's different for me. Neither your faith nor mine can claim to have won the truth at the center describing the one. The postmodern believer says she's right, her faith's strong. Others don't get it. She knows they are wrong. But if seeking a God who can heal any strife, a God who doth love and gifts us new life, then disturbing it is, and you know it's true. We simply can't leave it this way, me and you. But Wilbur suggests there might be a way to sort through this mess and quiet the fray. For each truth has a construct on which they agree, the other is wrong, the other can't see. But just as I think, can't we all see the light? I hear, yep, each perspective is partially right. We're just caught in our fragments, we argue and fight, ignoring the unity held by the light. Where do we go then, I asked in my head. Come back to the one, the Trinity said. Ken's details are cool and worth a long read, but for now it's an integral perspective you need. A comprehensive perspective on creation it has, so I wondered what gives this creation its jazz. What drives evolution? What makes it unfold? Let's imagine a God way too vast to behold. Ken points at the grammar to which we're all heir, for in it we'll see the existence we share. First person, second person, third person are the perspectives we share, whether near or quite far. Thus he leaned closer and spoke clearly to me. God's seen in three ways, just wait and you'll see. First person, the being, the I am, quite profound, is met in the stillness where presence is found. Second person, the Son, that's God loving you, relational, near, and forever true. It's God who is with you in joy and in strife, who walks with you daily, who gifts you your life. Third person, he added, it's vast and it's grand, the Spirit in action, evolving the land. It's driving creation from chaos to order, from galaxies swirling to change at the borders. The Trinity, friend, is a dance, don't you see? It's unity, movement, it's pure mystery. Each person distinct and yet fully one. The dance of existence that's never quite done. The Apostle Paul knew of this deep harmony, that creations tell us will set us all free. So I thought, let us look at each person a bit, then we can see if it all starts to fit. And I said, well, okay, I guess that I'll start on a mountain where smart Christian sages have taught. But this mountain is not the kind that you climb, one foot for the other in order to rhyme, with all of creation revealed throughout time. No, this mountain's internal and hard to approach. It takes time and commitment if you want to encroach on where God is or God was and will be just being. So take time to sit, time to know what you're seeing. You'll get it, there's one. There's no separation between you, between me, and the God of creation. I was stunned when I realized that's what Jesus meant, saying, I am and the Father are one, so I'm sent, to help you to see that you are one too. Now I'm compelled to opine that is true, be you Buddhist or atheist or Hindu or Jew. For once you arrive outside time, outside things, you realize just what this perspective might bring on this thing or that, or whatever divides us, because all is connected, all is quite boundless. This is the source, the ground, don't you know, of all that's connected, revealed, and doth flow. But once you've spent time living into this one, the I am who is being and doesn't become, let's move on then to explore the next aspect of one. We know God's creation evolves some each day, shocking us always with such a display of beauty and wonder and hope that doth last from the God of the future and present and past. So look at creation, the next dance step is real, a third-person perspective we now seek to feel. We will see that our God creates not just now, for the Big Bang to Springsteen emerged from the Tao. It's not like God speaks and creation does this, but it's clear God's created the patterns that kiss. All that's revealed in creation's unfolding, rocks, frogs, and trees, your life that God's molding, by the Spirit who loves and works through creation, all without breaking her laws and relations. Have you ever looked up in the sky in the night and wondered and puzzled as you stared at the lights? Or stared through a scope and thought, wow, how complex. That moment, mind-blowing, will leave you perplexed. If done long enough, let me tell you this, you'll shudder, you'll wonder, and then you'll feel bliss. And you might comprehend this God of third person as the evolutionary impulse driving creation. But if you'll allow me, I must make an aside, for I want you to know a thing that I've spied. The modernist fragments the world in his pride, breaks down its systems with no God to guide. Each part is useful, yet each whole denied, till truth is perverted, and we tell ourselves lies. So the forests are burning and the rivers do cry, our tools are too sharp, our hearts have run dry. We call it progress, we call it control, but lost in the parts, we've fractured the whole. This move has now wrought a deep meta-crisis, a maze of dilemmas leaving most feeling helpless. For great as the modern movement has been, it fragments creation that's one in the end. This next thought, I confess, is quite philosophical, but if you should grok it, you'll find it remarkable. See, the one is important because it shows on reflection that things are not real. What's real are relations. The dance between first and third are connected, but God's love brings forth what can't be projected. So 1 and 3 aren't enough. Thus, I think you might guess, a second-person perspective is required for progress. For something must draw creation together, something relational, close as though tethered, a you at the heart of all that can be, not concept or force, but love's gravity. So like rocks, frogs, and trees, love's expressed within me. Each of us works out its expression, you see? Love moves us from here to more beauty for real, from death to new life, that is the seal, or if you prefer, from slavery to free, or exile to homecoming for you and for me. But the one that surprises, that always becomes, is when two come together and make a blessed one. We've arrived at one answer about this creation, its purpose, its meaning, and even its mission. It has something to do with our place in the dance. God offers us work such that we have a chance to make a real life of the one we've been given, to make a real mark on the way that we're living. For each of us has a unique obligation, a tikkun, unique gifts to evolve God's creation. But how shall we live it? How shall we move towards God's perfection while still free to choose? What brings all together, complete harmony? Some sort of love it really must be. Well, what kind of love is expressed by the second? We'll need to unveil it to find new direction. Seems love is the key to this puzzle we've spun, for in Trinity, love in the three becomes one. The Greek had 2 words for love in their lore, agape and eros. Let's open that door. Agape is selfless. It gives, it bestows. It's love that creates, it forever flows. It's why there's a world, why we're all even here, a love that makes fertile all things far and near. But eros is love that desires to unite, to draw all things upward, creating more light. It's longing for beauty, for wholeness, for more, the pull of transcendence, the heart's open door. Combine them for sure, you'll finally see that God's love is moving through you and through me. It's death into life, it's healing through pain, it's finding connection when hope seems in vain. For knowing an other obligates us to care, to find unique gifts and how they do pair with the job God is calling us all to do where you live. Now wake up, do the work, be aware. For here is my point. Your unique call is life's purpose. An expression of God's love shall never be worthless. For God touches everything. This world is God's plan, though it is yours to shape within your lifespan. The Trinity teaches that life is a whole. We're part of the dance with a cool cosmic role. It calls us to action, to care, and to mend, to follow where love leads, to what God intends. The bishops lived with this God we all seek, and tried to describe it just so we could keep the promise of God's love, and thus we could reap the hope and the challenge of life, each unique. I thought for a bit, and it struck me once more that truth can be found in each spiritual lore. For to Hindus, Muslims, Buddhists, and Jews, the spirit of love gives us glimpses and clues. Most religions have three, and knit them together. Engaging round that could make us all better. It's not that all paths are exactly the same, but each holds a window through which we see flame. The flame is God's presence, though names may divide, while the Trinity models God's love as a guide. Even if they don't describe it like you, dialogue, don't you think, is long overdue. A fresh take on the Trinity this may be, I suspect. Try it on for a bit and judge its effect. Does it help you to know the God of creation? Does your dance of love move in a helpful direction? Trinitarian thought may not clear all your questions, but you can be sure it gives us directions to know God and love God and realize the same, that God is within us, that God knows our name. So yes, it's a mystery, complex, I agree, but the perspectives are held in profound unity. It's God in the present, the past, and to come, the source of all being, the rhythm, the drum. And when we are weary, confused, or in doubt, the mystery will hold us. It won't cast us out. It says that our struggles, our fears, and our tears are met by a God who transcends all our years. So finally we see it. It's perfectly true. I'll say it to me and I'll say it to you. It's a puzzle for sure, and you have to agree. For we say God is one, and yet God is three. I hope you enjoyed the poem. It's been a labor of love for some time now. I'm hoping it will stimulate conversation. If you're of a mind, feel free to leave a comment, but as we converse, please know that I'm not claiming to be right. How could I be? We're talking about a mystery beyond all words. I'm approaching this with curiosity and reaching for a way to describe my faith in terms that are not magic. I think I've made some progress, and I'm glad to explore these ideas with others. If you'd like to think about these ideas more than just a one-time reading allows, the poem is available on Amazon in both paperback and electronic editions. The book includes a discussion guide that can be used should groups want to read it together. Now, just because I can't help it, I'll finish by telling you what I tell my congregation every week. Whatever burden weighs you down, whatever flaw, whatever trauma you've experienced or dream that's been left unfulfilled in your life, know this. You are an expression of the love of God. You cannot be separated from that love. God seeks your perfection and not your destruction.